West side, the north side.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, Chicago. What is going on worldwide? Intellectual Radio, your girl Brandy J, the Alchemist, back on the ones and twos on a Wednesday. Can y'all believe it? I'm back again on a Wednesday, and that vibe is going to continue for the rest of the year because Wednesdays is just my special love day, y'all. And we are here again on Intellectual Radio. If you haven't tapped in already with us, make sure you hit us live at 708-223-8953. If you haven't already, check me on IG. That's Brandy 3YJ_. Check the link in the bio. Go on the website. Look at some of our spiritual tools. We are a unique spiritual spa. Yes, we recommend everything as far as sage, crystals, and all the things you need to ascend into your higher self. Yes, True Essence have all of your needs. Yes, so guys, last week we were talking about DNA. We talked about energy. We talked about paradigms. It was really a segment to close off our year and what we spoke about. And this week we have a special guest because while we like to be spiritually enlightened to our higher self, it's very important to know how to get to the bag, right? Because not knowing how to get to the bag, not knowing how to allocate your resources, not knowing the ins and outs of entrepreneurship would definitely leave you in the dark. And as we know, we are approaching a different time in our lives, a different frequency where everything is so digital, right? Everything, even currency is digital, right? We don't even know if the dollar is dead. So why not get ahead of the train and be able to know where you need to go in this paradigm shift? So with that being said, we have a special guest, Super Stokes, dropping all the gems that you guys need to be able to be the best versions of yourself, not just physically, mentally, but economically, because economics plays a huge component when it comes to spiritual development. But before we jump in, we have to do a recap, y'all. We definitely have to do a recap. It's very important for us to know our energy, the DNA, and everything that we're made of. So just a quick overview. So DNA, remember guys, DNA is a storage medium. Keep in mind, we are walking hard drives. DNA can affect our past lives and current lives and how we show up in the world. Also, DNA is a part of our energetic field, which is our karmic energy. Because again, on this show, we believe in life cycles, that death is an illusion, that you don't per se die, you just transform or transmute into another energy. And those energies that you left in your previous lifetimes carries over into this current lifetime. So understanding the energies that are around you, understanding the epigenetic memories, right? Which we went over, but I'm going to quickly go over it again. Epigenetic memories are passed down through the DNA. It stores up to 14 generations of memory, both good and bad. Yes, both good and bad, the epigenetic studies, because your DNA is a module of you. It is passed through your genetics. The epigenetic is a study of how your behavior and your environment change the structure of your DNA. All right. So this is all done through the energetic field that's around you from the time that you're born to the time that you're programmed with your conscious and your subconscious mind. Your DNA is constantly being programmed. And again, if you are behind the ball with programming your subconscious mind, again, we always give you tools, right? So those tools, again, will always be sun gazing, eating right, meditation, positive affirmations. All those things are great tools to be able to reprogram your DNA and take it to the next level. Next, we're tapping into the energy, right? Energy, again, is a quantitative property that is transferred to the body or the physical system, recognizable in performance of work and in the form of heat and light. It is a conservative quantity that can be converted or it can be transformed, but it can never be destroyed, right? Energy can never be destroyed. So we understand that this infinite energy is what connects us to this electromagnetic field. And this field is unlimited. It unifies us. So remember, whatever you want, it wants you as well. So the energy is like wave lights. It carries photons and information. And in that, when you tap into that, when you tap into your DNA, you can tap into the highest form of who you are. Now, remember that you are what you believe yourself to be. Whatever you believe yourself to be, that is what your reality will be, because you are magnetized to that thought. So the thought is like a frequency that's in the astral plane, right? And the more you focus in on that intent, that thought, and you do the work, right? because faith without works is what dead. We all know that. So it's one thing to have faith, but you have to also work it. So you have to work it as if you know it, because then that becomes you. And that's all about programming the subconscious mind. Lastly, we talked about last week was paradigms. So again, paradigms are mental programs and or conditioning that's almost exclusive to have control over your behavior, right? So when paradigms are in control, nothing can change unless you create that paradigm to want to change. That paradigm is mainly controlled by your subconscious mind, which again is the most powerful concept of your mind. So it's very important to know how your mind works, how the DNA works, how the energy works, how your paradigm works. Because in order to get to the bag, in order for us to grow economically, spiritually, and every aspect that we need to know not only the mind, the body, and the energy, but we need to know the divine laws. So last week, I didn't get a chance to touch on the universal laws. I know we spoke about it in previous shows, but I kind of want to get over it just a bit so we can understand the universal laws that governs us. Exactly, because when you driving down the street, right, you have laws. You can't stop, you can't go past anything without stopping. You can't go to a light and it's going to tell you what to do. And if you go past the speed limit, what officer is going to pull you over, right? So it's the same thing in the spiritual realm. If you are out of order, believe me, your spirit guides, your ancestors, and even some of your living people, right, the people that you love and adore in this astral reality are going to pull you aside and say, hey, you're driving a little too fast. Hey, you're swerving out the lane. So these physical laws are somewhat in a reflection of our spiritual laws. So quickly, before we bring our guests on, let's tap into these laws, right? So the first law is the law of divine oneness. Understand that we are all one and we are all connected. Yes, we are all connected. That's why you can look at the next person as better or less than, because we are all one. We all learn from one another, and in each other's experiences we learn to evolve and to gain the perspective we need to gain within that, right? So second, you have the law of vibration. Going back to that energy does not devolve, it either transform or transmute. So energy doesn't, it's never resting, it's always doing something. Yes, even this table that we're on, this mic that I'm on, is made up of energy. It's just is so vibrating low that you can actually tangibly touch it. But make no mistake about it, it's made up of energy just like you are. Third is the law of action. Understand that action is the energy of motion. Yes, action is the energy of motion. When you take action, you're in motion, and there corresponds what it is that you want. Leading to the next one, four, the law of correspondence. So whatever you think or feel is what will show up in your life. The correspondence of energy is reflected on the physical plane. So whatever you believe yourself to be, whatever you believe your situation to be, whatever you believe someone else to be, that is the law of correspondence. So it shall be. That's why perception is based off of the individual who's perceiving that individual thing, right? Yeah. So moving along to law 5, the law of cause and effect. Nothing is by chance. For everything, there is a reaction. For every action, there's a reaction. So there's a cause and an effect. If I do this, I know that that's going to reflect this, right? So that is a great thing to know, because we all sometimes want to move outside the lines of structure, but knowing that, hey, if I do X or if I do Y, if I do Z, this may cause X, Y, and Z. And understanding and understanding that correspondence is important. Moving on along to law 6, which is the law of compensation. Yes, we all want to be compensated, right? We're all here on this plane to be compensated for our deeds, right? So the law of compensation lets you know that if you want to increase your compensation, you have to increase your contribution. They're really attached. So whatever you give, you would get back. Whatever you pour in, you would get back. So whatever you contribute to this reality, to this experience, will reflect in your compensation. And understand that compensation does not always mean tangible physical money. Compensation can be friendships. Compensations can be relationships. Compensation can be gifts and things of that nature. So don't ever downplay the law of compensation, right? Moving along to law 7, the law of attraction. Whatever you think, whatever you want is going to be magnetized to you. Law 8, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Ooh, let's say that again. Hey, let's slow that down. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy. All have the power within them to change the conditions within themselves of their opportunity. You just have to transmute that energy. So whatever it is that you want to achieve, know that you have the ability within to retrieve that. Moving on to the law of gestation, yes, which is the divine timing. Everything has a specific time period of manifestation. So just as a flower blooms at a certain time, we are all in spring, which is our real new year, guys. This is the real new year for us galactical 9 ether beings. Yes. So this is the time where you're going to see flowers blossom. The bees are coming out. The butterflies are coming out their cocoons, right? So this is the time for manifestation, but understand that this is a gestation period. So the law of 9 lets us know that gestation is a timing of divine order, of divine manifestations, right? So you have to be patient with your dream. You have to be patient with what it is that you're trying to manifest, because although you're doing your affirmations, you're doing your sun gazing, you're doing the work, right? You may not see it right away or within a time that you would like to see it, but understand that there is the divine timing specific for what it is that you want. Because remember, whatever you want, it wants you as well, right? Moving along to law 10, the law of relativity. Each person will receive a series of challenges. Let me say that again. Everybody will receive a series of challenges to test them. It is somewhat as a initiation of a higher light of consciousness. It is what will carry you through your hard times. You, me, and everyone have experienced hard times. And if you haven't experienced, I guess, hard times, so to speak, just hold on, because it's going to come. But understand that that is relative to what it is that you need to grow. When you experience hard times, how you show up in that hard period is going to show who you are. Are you made up of gold? Because again, when you talk about golds and pearls, they're made in the darkness. They're made when it's so chaotic energy, but they come out so beautiful, like flowers. They blossom so beautiful. So understand that whatever it is that you are facing now, it is just that, a challenge to grow you, right? So moving along to law number 11, the law of polarity. This law states that everything is continuum, that everything has a opposite, right? So for instance, if it's a hot, it got to be a cold. If it's a up, it got to be a down. To know what positive energy is, you got to know what negative energy is, right? So we live in this duality, and understanding this duality and understanding this polarity shift that we're constantly going through in this reality is very important in manifestation and knowing who you are, right? So moving along to law number 12, we almost done with the laws, right? So the law of rhythm. Everything vibrates, right? Everything moves to a certain rhythm, and it's established in seasons and patterns and even life cycles, right? So there's a law of rhythm, and we are on this continual rhythm of life, aka we're riding the waves, right? We're always riding the waves. Surfboard. Hey, so can you ride the wave of life? Are you able to sustain yourself on a level where everybody is falling under and water, and they talking about save me, but you're here riding the wave, right? So the law of rhythm allows you to ride the waves of life. Moving along to law number 13, which is belief. Whatever we believe, good, bad, or different, it comes to us. And lastly, law number 14, the law of gender. Everything has a masculine and feminine component. Yes, the law of gender lets us know that everything has a masculine and feminine component. For those who are over masculine, they don't want to have any feminine component, wrong. It. For those who are overly feminine and don't want to have any masculine component, it, wrong. You have to be able to learn how to balance out these energies, because these energies, which is the yin and the yang, shows up everywhere in this universe, not in just our interactions with others, but in everything we do. Everything has either a yin and a yang to it, a opposite component. So learning these genetic shifts and learning these laws is very important for us to be able to ascend to our higher selves, right? So I just want to remind us of our divine being and remind us how to stay in this positive mind state, right? Everything is about shifting into a higher mind state, because if you don't, you'll find that disease, illness, and mental illness will take over your body. Your body is a self-healing component. It can heal itself, but you have to be able to know what you need to do to heal yourself. So you may have gotten some news from the doctor about something that's going on with you or a loved one. Know that that is not a death sentence. I don't care what the doctor is telling you. I don't care what you feel in your energetic field. Know that that is not a death sentence. Why? Because the creator created our bodies so beautifully that we can overcome any illness, whether it's mental, physically, or whatever to have you. We can overcome that, and the best ways to do that is first by speaking positive over those things, over your life. Yeah, you can do surgeries and treatments, things like acupuncture and all those things. You can take drugs and herbal medicines, and you can exercise and even spend time in nature. But the best thing is to get that mindset right, get that mindset on point, and that's all in the reprogramming of the mind. Because while the medical professionals may know the best prescription to fill for you, the best physical things that you need to do, they are not aware of your emotional health and how that plays a part in your overall health. Because again, disease is dis-ease in your body. It's a dis-ease. So something is not at ease in your body. When you are at ease, your chakras are aligned, starting from your root all the way to your crown. That means that energy is flowing through you correctly, and that you are able to transmute that energy to heal yourself. So even with a death sentence, quote unquote, or even whatever, if you have the frequency of love that's around you, I have seen so many people, cancer, AIDS, this, that, and the third, and when they get around the frequency of love, right, they are able to heal themselves on a such a quantum level, and understand that physical is the last abstract of who you are, right? So if you are ill, something is happening energetically with you first before it manifests into the physical. So if you have some knee surgeries or some heart surgeries, 9 times out of 10, something mentally led to that. It could be what you're eating. Yes, it could be hereditary things, but understand that those things don't have to stay, that your mindset is really going to shift those things into the right level, right? So understanding that everything is made up of energy, everything you are is already in you. And if you are feeling anxious or confused about certain things, get into your divine higher self is very important. And learning, yes, learning how to use the ego and the heart simultaneously. We speak about the ego a lot on the show. Again, a lot of people think, oh, I don't need the ego. You absolutely do need the ego. The ego is a surviving mechanism. It is the nerve of you to get up and do something about your situation. Ego also will help you create boundaries and healthy things for your lifestyle and plan out things. The ego is the voice of the survivor, right? So the ego, it loves to talk about what it wants, right? This is why you got to be careful with the ego, because it will definitely lead you down the wrong road. So while, yes, you need it, you have to maintain it, because it enjoys worry and stress. The ego will love to stress over a certain particular situation, have you replan it in your mind. It's unhealthy. When these things are happening, know that the ego has come in and taken hold, and you have to what? Condition that ego to what it needs to do. The ego too often judges ourselves and others. It loves to be right. It's extremely competitive, and it loves playing victim. We ain't got time for that. No, because we're trying to ascend. So the best thing is to learn to tame the ego, because again, you can't get rid of it because you need it. So with the heart, understand the heart is the voice of compassion. It's your dreams, it's your hopes, it's your wishes, right? The heart, it heals you, right? It heals you in so many different ways and aligns you with your higher self. It reminds you that there is more to the story than what you see. It's more to the story than what meets the eye. So I don't care if you are physically in turmoil, if you are not financially where you want to be, which we're going to speak about that when my guests come on, because we definitely want to make sure you guys get to the bag. But I don't care what you physically see in your physical eyes. Know that there's more to the story, and your story is being unfolded as you speak, as you be, as you are, right? The heart is also gentle and is loving, and it loves to build up. It supports and encourages your dreams on a abundant level, right? And it heals all your desires and all your passions, and it stimulates you, right? The voice of the heart is extremely powerful. It's extremely powerful when it comes to connecting yourself to the higher consciousness of who you are. So yes, again, you need the ego and the heart to work simultaneously, because when they're working together, you can be multidimensional, because you are a multidimensional being. So when you're able to have the ego and the heart work on a frequency that serves you, you can serve the greater good of the people, and not just the people, but yourself, right? So understand that the healing powers are within you, and that there's no illness that can come over you, right? Illness may be a part of your soul contract, right? So for some, it may be that you are hereditary to certain illnesses because your grandparents or your forefathers, whomever, may have had that. But understand that that may be in your soul contract, because that's here to expand you. Somehow, when you go through something traumatic, or when you find out something traumatic that's going on with your physical body, 9 times out of 10, I haven't met a person that hasn't. They're going to see what they can do to grow that, to expand on that. So understand that illness is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's just a message. It's a message that God and our ancestors is sending to us to let us know, hey, whatever you're eating, whoever you're around energetically, whatever you're doing is off track, and we need to get you all on track, because illness is just a physical presentation of what's going on mentally in your mind, right? So understanding these things and understanding how it works, and being aware of the cycles of energy that illness goes through and how it manifests into our body is very important. And yes, we may find ourselves balancing both modern Western medicines along with spiritual tools that we speak about on this show. So yes, you may still have to take your blood pressure medicine or whatever the case may be, but you're also taking herbs, you're also sun gazing, you're also doing she exercises, which at some point I will dive into in this show. And I actually want to show you guys how to do these exercises. But it's essentially when you're in the sun, grounded on the earth, feet to the ground, bare feet to the ground, because you're grounding and you're connected to the sun, and you're doing certain gestures. It's almost like low yoga, but not as intense. So this is something that anyone can do at any age range, from 60 to 80 to my age 30, whatever the case may be. You can do that, right? So understanding that everything is connected to us, and everything has a divine purpose, right? Because again, disease is just a disease in your body. It means that something is out of alignment and you need to get back in. So I spoke about these things because it's important, because before we talk about getting to the bag, before we talk about entrepreneurship and all these things and getting into DNA, we got to know, what's really going on in our body. And a lot of us are having a lot of medical things going on that we can actually heal ourselves from, just by being disciplined in what we eat, disciplined in what we think, disciplined in who we're around. Because again, we are all tethered together in this energetic field, right? So if you're around people who's constantly complaining, who's constantly in a downward spiral, that can energetically match to you. And then if you have something traumatic going on where you're trying to overcome an illness or a disease, you can't, because you're energetically attached to these individuals who's in your life. So you have to rid yourself of them or the energy that's around them, right? So everything is connected, knowing that all things are with you. So being aware of how the body works, how the energy works, how DNA is, how energy is, how the paradigms is very important for us to be able to get on a right rift, right? Because again, we are 9 ether beings. If you guys have not noticed, that means we are galactical beings. We were never not existed. We always existed. You, my dear, have always existed, and you will never die. You just transform into a different experience. And knowing that gives you great courage to do what you can in this current experience, to be able to gather as much information. And this is why we're going to be talking about economics, because just like DNA and genetics is passed down, so do economics, right? So if you are not building up your credit, if you are not learning how to be the best successful entrepreneur and pave the way for the generations to follow, then you are not leading the pack. So that when you do, if you do happen to reincarnate back into this physical realm, guess what? You're coming back into the same family you're born into. Yes, because that's who you are genetically tied to. And if you didn't do the work while you were here, guess what? 2043 or 3043, you're going to be back here talking about where my money is. You got to start from scratch while the other cultures are ahead of the game because they understand how to pass down wealth. So don't think that you are passing down wealth just for your lineage, but it's also for you. Because for a lot of people, they do have to come back here again and again. Not everyone is going to ascend and go to the astral planes because that's a higher level of consciousness. Again, there are several dimensions to this reality. We are on the lowest level of the density, right? This 3D density that we see, which we're approaching more of a 5D dimension, it's the lowest level. You have 5D, you have 7, you have 12, you have all these different dimensions of light. And in these dimensions of light, there's frequencies and there's codes and there's information. So for those who have evolved and who have done their shadow work, and for those who are not familiar with shadow work is something that we all have to go through. So when you're going through something, rather than let it become you, you become it and you overcome it and you teach others. That's doing the shadow work, right? You're owning your shadows. You're owning your darkness. You're even owning the darkness that's around you, meaning that you're forgiving your parents. You're forgiving your ex-spouse. You're forgiving the people that are around you because you realize they forgive them for they not know what they do. And in that forgiveness, you're able to ascend and know who you are. And this is essential for evolution. So in order for us to get to the bag, y'all, in order for us to know where this thing is going, we got to understand how it's on a scientific level, how the creator created us on a scientific level. So understanding that your DNA and what you do on this plane counts, not just today, but it counts for tomorrow. And not just for your grandchildren or your great grandchildren, for you, because you might reincarnate back into this physical plane. And when you reincarnate, don't you want some money? Don't you want to know that your grandkids did what they was supposed to do with the money, that you got trust already set in place, your economics is where it needs to be, credit is where it needs to be, and that this money is being passed down the way it needs to be. So with that being said, guys, we got a special guest in the building. I'm going to go on a quick break, but I want you guys to stay tuned. If you guys have any questions, this is the time to give us a call. Yes, at 708-223-8953. I got a special guest, Superman Stokes, coming to the stage to give us some great gems. So I see you guys in a short second. Love you guys. See you in 1 second.
Get your shine on. Get your glow up. One time. For the babies on the south side, the east side, the west side, the north side. Chi-town. Hey, oh. There's a song in your song. It can flow from short to long. In your song, you are the story. Getting past your past, struggling with your past.
Hello, guys. Welcome back. Another show on Intellectual Radio. Brandy J, the Alchemist. I have a special guest, Superman Stokes. What is good? What's going on, my man?
Blessings.
He is such an incredible inspiration to us young people. He's a great entrepreneur. He's well known out here, and he encouraged me, and we honestly been friends for a very long time. We grew up in the same community, and I would like to say Maywood has definitely brought about some great people, Proviso East especially. So I'm very grateful to be affiliated with people such as himself that's really out here on the pavement, really getting it without any judgment from others. The fact that we are able to get up and to inspire not only ourselves but others, and that is such a great thing. So without further ado, I just want you to give the audience a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your history. Then we're going to tap into some of these questions and just get it going from there.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? I'm the kid Superman Stokes, young boy from the west side of Chicago, moved to Maywood. My mother was looking to, give us a better chance, better opportunity. She thought it was better than growing up in Holy City. So, we came to the suburbs, and I've just been a businessman since the day I was born. It's just in me and it's on me. So I just been able to teach and show others as much as I can because I just love my people in all aspects.
Absolutely. And then that love for your people and that love for yourself kind of transmute into something bigger. So my first question is entrepreneurship, right? In today's time, what do you feel like entrepreneurship really represents? Is it really stingy as we may think it is, or is it a true like big umbrella where there's different components in that entrepreneurship?
Definitely. It definitely breaks down into very big components, not small ones. There's some really big ones. We're not understanding the quadrant of finances and understanding business 101 because there are employees and entrepreneurs. They're on the same side of the quadrant. And I think a lot of people are looking at entrepreneurship like, oh, I'm my own boss. No, whatever you're selling and the people that's buying, they're your boss because you bend to their liking. So you're not your own boss. You get up every day and you work for someone else. If you do hair, you're doing their hair. Stop thinking it's about you. And I think that that's what we're losing a lot of our people at, because now the customer service value is going down because we have too much like chemistry, or what word I'm looking at, like this bossness about yourself when you're not the boss. Period. She's the boss. That's her hair. And tattoos, that's their body. Whatever you're doing, cutting hair, that's his lining. So entrepreneur and employee is actually on the exact same side. All you're doing is learning to use your time to make money instead of making money on someone else's time. That's the only difference in it, but it's on the same side of the quadrant because you still work for money. Until you become an investor or owner, now your money works for you. That's two totally different things. So all my entrepreneurs, I love you, but stop being so cocky with it. We still have a
Yeah.
humbleness. We got a long way to go.
Absolutely. I love that. And even I had to come to that because we all get locked in on I'm the boss, I got the keys, I do the say so, but that's not really it. There's so much more to it. Until you have fully stepped into that role and take full ownership of it, you really don't see those aspects in which you just stated. So my question after what you just stated is, do you feel like we need a code of conduct within our community?
Always.
Yeah.
We need somebody to look up to. I think that being in the Black community, the poor community, Hispanic community, we justify pain first. They say that a lot of people respect the failed person more than the success,
Ooh,
sir,
why is that?
because they relate to the failure, even if they never tried.
Wow.
I think it comes from generations after generation. So we'll sit there and clap. It's the same way, with no disrespect to anybody, but when you got family members that go to jail, when that man go to jail, everybody come up with some money to bond him out. When that man started business, nobody came up with money to push him forward. And
Woo.
we fail each other every single day because of that. And I think that's the world we live in every day.
Absolutely. So we are kind of programmed bad in a sense
And
when it
reverse for
comes.
everything else.
Yeah, so we do need a code of conduct. So what do you feel like we can do to establish that code of conduct in different businesses, whether you have a tattoo shop like yourself, whether you are a serial entrepreneur, whether you have a restaurant,
I
whatever the
always tell
case
them
may
this.
be?
This is simple. The person closest to the rim passed them the ball. We got to play the game together. We need to know that in every multi-billion-dollar, million-dollar business, there are multiple units of a CEO, a CFO, a COO, a CMO. You need to know to play your position. Stop doing the I'm the boss, I'm the boss, I'm the entrepreneur, I'm the boss. No, 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 no. We're never going to scale it. As an individual, you can't make over $100,000 no matter how hard you try. You need somebody else to do something else, to do something else. That's just the end of it. The only way you're going to make $1 million is if you sell something for one time for the million, or sell two of them for $500,000. And we don't have that type of equity in anything to sell it for that. We're selling $10 outfits. We're selling $50 haircuts. We're selling $200 hairstyles. And that it's only 24 hours in a day.
Right.
So you got to count your hours. You can't outwork the next person either. All I could do is work my 24 hours. But when we a unit, it's two of us now. Now we got 48 hours in the same day.
Right.
That's how you multiply.
And then you can take that, if you're plugged in with that person, you can take that money and invest it properly.
Period.
Invest it back into the community, invest it back into businesses. So
Definitely.
it sounds like we need to get better with a united front. Because what
All the
I've
time.
noticed is that other cultures and other businesses, they have a united front. I don't know if you, because he's from Arizona, guys. Well, he's from Chicago. We live in Arizona, but he be traveling around. And I don't know if you had a chance to go through Melrose Park lately.
Melrose Park.
Right. You
mostly
see,
Hispanic.
but you see
Mexican,
how their money is turning over.
Turning.
Easy. Clockwise.
I had a business in Melrose Park. At 20 years old, I worked for the Scalado family, Scalado Boulevard, 25th Avenue, all the way to Melrose Park. I had a laser tag company on North Avenue. I worked under some of the great Italian people and the Hispanic people, the Mexican people. And they sense was very common because they're humbled enough to know that it's not going to be always me. If my brother is good at laying the bricks, at least let me sell them for him.
Absolutely.
No, I'm gonna sell my own bricks. I got my own bricks. Then my brother got his own bricks. Now you dividing the people. Now you know how much you lose in equity because you got to do all the work. Now you're tired. Now you couldn't sell it. Now you didn't answer the phone. Now you thinking somebody else backdooring and stepping on you. No, we got to come together with whatever it is. I could take a day off. I could take a week off. I could take a year off. What you doing? I could work for you. I'm the marketer. I'll be your CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. I could come in your business and scale it and make it more profitable. I could show you what you selling too low and what you selling too high and help you. I don't have to be the one.
Absolutely. And see, I love your mindset. And that's why I had you on the show today, is because we need more of that type of mindset in our community. Not that it's me, but collective energy. And that's what you see from other cultures. They're able to replenish their dollars.
Native American.
Absolutely. We just haven't established that because, again, it's all centered in an ego, because it has to be about me. I'm the boss. I have to keep up the facade. But if the facade is not generating actual money, then what is it really truly worth?
100%. The generic way I used to always put it that people can understand is, if you ever watch Toy Story and Woody, everybody was mad at Woody like he was hating on Buzz Lightyear. He was just trying to keep it real with his brother. Hey, bro, you cool and all, you got gadgets, but you still a toy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and what Buzz has, like, bro, when he found out, he went through depression. Like, you really, they was putting it in movies, but you don't break it down.
This is so true. You know, I love Dakota movies, so I never even looked at it from that angle.
He went into depression.
Yeah,
now
this
he's
is true.
drinking tea and his arm off and whatever. And Woody's had to tell him, hey, I understand who I am now, and I'm falling, but I'm not flying.
Right.
I'm falling in style. And it's a lot of us that fall in style. It's a lot of us failing, but we just put a Gucci coat on and act like we didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, that ain't where it's at. When you sit up and you talk that talk and you walk that walk, we supposed to sit in that corner. We ain't got to pull out our exact, bank accounts or whatever. That's overflexing. But I could pull out my data entry book and I can show you what I'm spending, what I'm making. I can scale my business right in front of you to compare it to yours to help you scale yours. I ain't trying to show you that I got more money than you. I'm trying to show you that on an average day-to-day basis that my business makes more money. Because that's what matters. It ain't about what I got at the moment. It's about what I'm going to have forever. Can I walk away from it and close my eyes and go to sleep and it's still making money?
Right. That's that
different.
residual.
That's different.
That is. That's a residual. And we haven't learned how to, like you said, invest. Because entrepreneurship is just a step under being employed.
Just the one step.
Just the one step.
You didn't buy it, invest in it, and then wait on 5 years to make the million. No, you need $1 tomorrow, right? So you ain't made it there yet. You broke right now. You need that money tomorrow. You looking for the payment on the first because the landlord look for the payment on the first, right? So you ain't got it like that. So don't try to step on the workers, because one thing about the workers, they go to work every day and they make the economy move too.
Absolutely.
So you disrespecting them, because we still need you to work at Walmart. We still need you to work at Dollar General, because we go
Let's
there.
go.
So
Let's
respect them
go.
too.
Yes.
We sitting there looking at them like they scums of the earth. These my people. I tip them everywhere I go. I love everybody I see. I stop and I let my window down and I tell them, a beautiful black woman, hey, I love you.
Absolutely.
You don't know how you making her day feel. Like, we got to give more love than hate on anything we giving, and we got to come together some way or no way.
Absolutely.
Because everybody else has a community. We could go to Chinatown.
Yeah.
We could go to Little Village.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go to Black Market University?
Not yet, but that's why these shows have to come about, so we can know how to reestablish the order, because every point you hitting on is very much on point. Which brings me to my next question. Do you feel like in this digitized environment that we're in, with social media and being so trend setting and entrepreneurs, do you feel like we are constantly comparing ourselves to others? And is that a healthy thing or unhealthy thing? Can we learn to make it work for us?
We can learn to make anything work, but it's definitely unhealthy right now. Great kids become great teenagers, become great adults. We have to look at things at face value. We got kids that know how to dance. Then we press them for hard every day to dance in front of the camera. Like you say, that might not be their passion. We have to stop pushing get rich quick scheme on our youth.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So the last question before we conclude is, do you believe that we need another Black Wall Street? And
Definitely.
Is it possible? Like,
yeah.
So it's
Atlanta got it.
Yes, they
Houston
do.
got
They're
it.
the Mecca. They the Mecca.
Come on.
Even Arizona got it.
Arizona trying to get it.
Yeah.
We got little small ones. We got 2 black, 2, 3 black. Then we definitely got the black club system.
Yeah.
We trying to find it.
Absolutely.
Chicago definitely need it, without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be black businesses for 6 to 7 blocks, black houses for 6 to 7 blocks a mile, and it should be beautiful. It shouldn't look like property. It shouldn't look like boarded up. It shouldn't look halfway. And it's a lot of owners giving black businesses the opportunity just because they know they're gonna fail. They just want your deposit and they just want your money. In the real community, if you don't come with a business plan, you can't just put your business in my place.
This is true.
And they oh yeah, give me your 3,000, give me your 5,000. I know you're gonna fail in a couple months, and I'm gonna get 5,000 from them too. Like, go sit with somebody and learn the right way.
Absolutely.
Put yourself around the right people and grow the right way. We all can't do it all, but we could do it together. It's just one step at a time.
Absolutely. And it sounds like ownership is where it's at. So I'm concluding with today's show. I definitely appreciate the gems that you did drop. I'm definitely going to have you back on again. We are doing a Spring into Action seminar. It's going to be at the White Cigar Lounge in Crestwood. I will give you guys more information on my IG. That's Brandy 3YJ_. Again, you can follow me on Facebook, and also you can follow
Superman Stokes. That's Superman SUP. That's with the A. MAN_Stokes, STOKES.
Yes, he will be one of our featured panelists for the evening. We'll be talking about everything as far as entrepreneurship, credit, go-getters. Let's go. We're going to have definitely some of the affiliates in the building. And all of this thing is about ascending to our higher selves and getting to our like bodies. So I appreciate you, brother, coming on this show and dropping the gems. And again, ownership is where it's at. Get your credit in order, get your mind in order, get your finances in order, get your resources in order, find your community, find your hub, and grow from there. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, if you haven't already, tap in with us on Intellectual Radio. That's Brandy 3YJ_. Love you guys for watching. See you next week. Bye. There's always something inside.